So for the Insider Outsider project, Mason and I decided to give one another movies. He gave me the movie La La Land. I was the cultural outsider, seeing as this movie was a musical. I really don't lean towards musicals, so I was kind of on the fence when he did say that that was the kind of movie he'd like me to watch. But it was good, and I was able to make some connections with the movie to our culture unit. So in La La Land, there are some life lessons. It does teach us that, you know, while it may not make sense to all of us, at some point it will, that if we meet our soulmate, some of us already have, which is fine, but not always are we meant to be with them. Sometimes people are brought into our lives just to better them, and then they leave. It happens, it does suck, but it does happen. And I feel as if that is what Mia and Sebastian did for one another. They bettered each other in their own ways, and then they did part ways, which was very unfortunate, but it does happen. So the person-based attribution does have to do with individual characteristics. So I think that, you know, Mia being her aspiring actress in Hollywood and Sebastian wanting to open up his own jazz club, I think that they kind of could feed off one another and give each other that energy that one another needed to progress to the next level. Even if it wasn't in their time while they were together. Both of them reached their own dreams after they had separated, which was totally fine. But the first person attribution theory, I definitely felt touched there. Sebastian got no support from his family when he said that he wanted to open up a jazz club and that he liked music and wanted to do something in that field. His family didn't support him, and Mia did. So I felt like he could feed off of her energy, and her wanting him to succeed, that only made him push harder for that. The stereotype threat definitely affects Mia and her wanting to be an aspiring actress in Hollywood, just because she kept getting turned down by agencies, and like they would just brush her off whenever she would show up for an interview or whenever she had an audition. They just kind of brushed her off, and I feel like she didn't want to be that stereotypical actress who, like, everybody in Hollywood wants to be an actress and everybody wants to be successful, but she did want those things, but she didn't want to meet the stereotype. Ethno-relativism was closer towards me, and me being open to watching this movie. Like I said, I was never really into musicals, and I was really standoffish when Mason did mention this, but I'm glad that I did watch it. Although it was a musical, it was not entirely bad. I did like the movie. It was good. And there were connections between this and Class. More on the educational side, probably not, but culture-wise, I could definitely understand when Mason said, like, he grew up on these things, so a lot of, you know, the things that he knows in his own culture come from that because his whole family is involved in musical. Mason's going to school for music. So, you know, I think that helped me learn a lot about him and other people who like, you know, things like that. I like the project. The project was a fun experience. I'm glad that we did it, and given the circumstances, I'm glad that we could still be here and be able to finish it. Granted, they are not ideal circumstances, but here we are. Thank you, COVID-19. It was a good experience though, and I do plan on watching another musical in the future.